Wedged inside the heart of Central Europe sits Slovakia. It's a country of fewer than 6 million people, and it's a fierce ally of its neighbor Ukraine. But that could all change on September 30th when Slovakia holds its general election. The race's frontrunner is a party headed by Robert Fico, who previously served 3 terms as prime minister. Fico has campaigned on a pro-Russian and anti-American message. It's part of a broader trend across Europe, as political parties are becoming more vocal in their opposition to support of Ukraine.
Most of the people who are now reading about Slovakia, they just woke up. They see that there is an issue, but it doesn't come from nowhere. It has been always there.
Slovakia was formed in 1993 following the breakup of Czechoslovakia. It's a member of NATO and the European Union, and a strong supporter of Ukraine in its defense against a Russian invasion that began in February 2022. Slovakia was the first NATO country to send air defense missiles and fighter jets to Kyiv, and also opened its borders to refugees and sent additional arms shipments. But the Slovakian government was accused by opposition leaders of incompetence, blind support of the West, and slow progress in its touted fight against corruption. By December, the government collapsed after losing a vote of no confidence. Public support for the war in Ukraine is also divided. A March 2023 survey found that 51% of Slovaks believe the West or Ukraine were responsible for the war. Fico has used this opinion to drive his own campaign. The former prime minister is no stranger to scandal. In 2018, he resigned after an investigative journalist and his fiancée were murdered, while the journalist was looking into ties between the Italian mafia and people close to Fico. Since then, the country has faced political turmoil, having seen 4 new prime ministers in 5 years. Fico has vowed to steady the ship, beginning with stepping away from the war in Ukraine. He has promised to halt arms deliveries to Kyiv, denounce EU sanctions on Russia, and use Slovakia's membership in NATO to block Ukraine from joining. Slovakia is not alone in debating support for Ukraine. Poland, among the fiercest of Ukraine supporters, is entrenched in a mounting trade dispute with its neighbor. Slovakia, Hungary, and Poland announced restrictions on Ukrainian grain imports in order to protect their own farmers against an influx of cheaper grain. Croatia later joined in the restrictions. Whether Fico can return to power is still far from certain. His political party is ranking first in public polling ahead of the vote, but at only 20%, he would need the support of other parties to form a government.
If there is a coalition building against the support of Ukraine, Slovakia, Austria, Hungary, then the Fico's victory might become really consequential, and not only for our support of Ukraine. I mean, in future shaping of Europe.